learn something new every day. I was gobsmacked. There's a little underground system in Liverpool I never honestly knew. And that's the way down to the station. And there, oh look, as if you're in London. Real corridors. Well, I mean, what do you expect? You have to have corridors, otherwise you can't walk in and out of somewhere. And it really is deep. And that's where we've already come up several steps. Well, a good number of steps from the actual station. Well, good morning, one and all. This is the impressive tower of Hamilton Square Station. And where are we? Well, yes, hello everybody. We've come to, where are we? We've come to Birkenhead. And I've been told by people not to call it Birkenhead in front of people, otherwise I might get a brick thrown through my eyelids. But yes, came to Birkenhead because we fancied a day out, nice weather. And I thought, oh, pardon me, flying my eye there. I just thought for a change, the number of times pass through Birkenhead, which is sadly what a lot of people do. If you go to Cheshire Oaks and you think to yourself, oh, yeah, Cheshire Oaks is an outlet centre and for, you know, end-of-line stuff. And you go good bargains. Not that I'm advocating you go there and, you know, go if you want to. But you come back from Cheshire Oaks and you think to yourself, particularly if you're going to Manchester, oh, let's go into Liverpool just for a few hours. And you go into the tunnel and that's it. And you just bypass the town. So I was having a look anyway, doing a little bit of research. And where I've arrived at Hamilton Square is meant to be the greatest gathering, or whatever you might call it, of grade 1 listed buildings outside London. And it's meant to be fantastic. So let's go and have a look before we dash off down to the quayside or the riverside to see Liverpool from the other side of the Mersey and have a wander around. Atlantic House is not perhaps the best, I suppose, Victorian building you'd expect to see on the way into Hamilton Square, but let's give you an idea. And let's stop yakking, and here's the square ahead, and then looks very nice. There you go, it's Mr. Graham, responsible for 63 grade 1 listed buildings. Well, I never knew that. Well, I mean, there's a lot I don't know, let's be honest. And there we are, first sight. And there's the square itself in all its beauty. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Oh, there's number 1, Hamilton Square. I'm sure it's a good name for a film or a series, but let's have a look. I think I better cross over to take in the magnificence of these buildings. Hang on a second, folks. Well, I must say, as an architect fiend, but very much a clueless one, this has been a little lot of an education. We'll swing over and have a look at the other side. It's going to be a little bit against the sun, but we can't move the sun. Well, the conspiracy theorists can. But just look at this. This is just... And this is Birkenhead. I mean, goodness me, this is just wonderful. And as a little comedian in Wellies used to say, and there's more. I mean, this is just wonderful. Look at this. I just wasn't expecting this in Birkenhead. Sorry, good folks of Birkenhead. I mean, I just didn't expect it. Actually, I was just saying a moment ago, the Northern Irish comedian, and there's more. I've forgotten his name, the one with the wellies. My bestest friend, Mark, his partner's dad is the very famous Brad Ashton, the comedic writer who's done everything from Doctor Who scripts to working in the same office as Spike Milligan for 30 years, writing for, Mike and Bernie Winters. That's the old joke. What comes after a lovely summer? A lousy pair of winters. But that's not a dreadful one. They were harmless. But yes, he script wrote for him. And this is just wonderful. I hope you're taking it in like I am. And I'm sorry, this little video is not doing it justice. And the monument there, that's, I'd say that must be at least 40 foot tall. And this is quite an impressive war memorial monument. It's just opposite the sort of mini Albert Hall-y thing outside the Albert Monument in London. We're going to have a look, and there's some seagulls escaping my attention. and then other little commemorations dedicated to all the fallen. You must think I have a morbid fascination with me always looking at these memorials, but in fairness, I mean, these people laid down their lives for us, often in places that really and truly we could have said, like many other places do, there's no need to go. Not looking at Helmand Province, Province in particular. I can't get my words out. Saturday morning and being bowled over by all this lovely, wonderful Victorian and earlier architecture. And this is Hamilton Square. So the gardens. So we wander in and have a look. And there we go. Monument to Queen Victoria, Queen and Empress. I know it's a bit early yet for people to be up. Well, it's 11 o'clock, but it's lovely and quiet. No traffic. Well, there is traffic, but nothing that gets in the way of your ears. Goodness me, it's like Merrion Square in Dublin. It's just full of the stuff, full of all this Georgian wear, as they say. And is that a dedication to Stumpy McStumpyface, who's not yet declared his intention to run in the Makerfield by-election? There's the more modern area of the town, well, this part of the town anyway. And you can hear the seagulls squawking away because we're by the sea. Well, not the sea, the river. Well, as we amble along in the wonderful sunshine, just take a moment out to tell you about, well, a couple of the famous residents. The one and only Paul O'Grady and his nemesis. Needn't tell you who that is. He's more, well, I like his interest in dogs that he had, but yeah, very, very, very funny man. Yes, he played the one and only Lily Savage, based on growing up here in some of his character neighbours, I suppose, a combination of them all growing up here in Birkenhead. I saw Paul O'Grady. He was in prisoner cell block H in the Bradford Alhambra, many years ago, almost about 20 years ago. And we went to the last night, a Saturday night showing, and it was the funniest show I have ever been to. It was side-splitting. And you know, people say, they came out and their stomachs were aching from laughing. Well, ours were. And without me looking up, I can't remember her name, but they had the actual prison guard from the series. If you remember the series, you might be too young, but it was the one where all the sets used to, a little bit like Crossroads, they used to move around too much, but his ad-libbing had everybody in fits, including was she called the Beast? Or am I confusing her with Mark Lebet of The Chaser? But anyway, great evening out. Another one who's come from here is Glenda Jackson. She was born and raised here. She, of course, turned out to be a fabulous actor and then decided, like some of the actors do who suddenly transmogrify into useful idiots, she became a left MP, a rather lefty one, and said things that, well, I certainly didn't agree with. But I presume she was a reasonable MP, probably better than some of the current ones that we have who just sit in there making all sorts of noises to appease their local electorate, who might not necessarily have the same British values that we have. And well, that's it for the politics. No more of that. Interesting gate to or actually a memorial to the war that also serves as the Birkenhead Institute. And yes, that's a very poignant statue, or sculpture, should I say. William Owen, his name is. This is the other side of the square. I'm just going to nip up back here for a second before I head off down to the Priory. I was just chatting to a gentleman who told me that Birkenhead is actually named after birches. Birkenhead, it used to be. And is a plantation in the local park dedicated to that. But I just wanted to come back here for a moment to this building that took my breath away for rather obvious reasons. Yes, just a quick recap. This is, and I should have realised, this is the town hall. Not in downtown Birkenhead, where we're hoping to go shortly, but just thought I'd let you know. Yes, the Priory we're going to have a look at. It's the oldest standing building in Mersyside, dating to all the way back 1150. And so the oldest person standing holding a camera in Mersyside at the moment is going to try and have a look at the oldest building in Mersyside. And as we leave Hamilton Square behind, Outlaws MC in the background there. Yes, a little bit of modernism. Hamilton Plaza. I bet that must be quite a decent address, given it's in the middle of all this Georgian and Victorian stuff. And just to get a few more famous people out of the way that have come from here, also born, bred here, was Taron Egerton of Kingsman and Rocketman fame. And Elvis Costello, Declan McManus, he came from here. And one final one, Wilfred Owen. He was a famed World War I poet. So now you know it. Right, we'll make our way to the Priory and hope we can do that without having to get the iPod out and do a bit of mapping, because you know when somebody's good enough to give you directions, you don't listen to a word they say. Ah, there we go. Birkenhead Priory. As the old joke goes, how do you find north if you haven't got a compass? You just simply ask somebody who has got a compass. And there's a bit more Hamilton Square-ish overflow. I have no idea what this thing is. Just make it up yourselves, because I always do as I go along. And you can just see one of the Mersyside tunnel revenue booths just over there. Ah, I've just done a Bono as well. I found a Mersyside visitors and the visitor centre via the promenade. So I have found what I'm looking for. Those microfiber cloths, well, I'm not picking that one up, are really very good. The reason I mention microfiber cloths, I mean, just, you know me, I just go way off topic, is they're very good for wiping, you know, the damp up really well. And this is a consumer hint for you. If you want to prolong the life of your microwave, after you've cooked something and it gets all steamed up, have a microfiber cloth handy and wipe the insides of the microwave dry, as well as the window and the underside of the door. Your microwave will last that much longer. And that domestic hint was brought to you by Rent a Hint. Other hints are available, not by me. The gentleman was right. We are prioritizing. So prioritize. Yeah. Anyway, never mind. And there's the engineering college. Says he who makes out he knows what he's talking about. Of course, Laird, the famous Laird, you know, Camel Laird, the shipbuilders. There's a great legacy of Laird here in Birkenhead, because that's where the shipbuilding end of the Mersyside, Liverpool, Birkenhead business carried on. I know I always get a bee in my, well, I've got plenty of bees in my bonnet. I've got so many, it's surprised I don't get stung to death. But what is lovely about here, and you can probably see as I just swing over a little bit, no litter. Short 5-minute walk, and we're here at the Birkenhead Priory. There's even a polite warning. I'll see if I can find the impolite warning anywhere. Up the steps we'll go, and this is it. There's a bit of a diagram of what's what, and there it is. He did say it's a shell of its former self, but yes, I see what he means. Well, it's very much a shell of its former self, isn't it? But let's go around the back. Tradesman's entrance, round the back. With the old columns from that 11, whatever it was, I forgot now, 1190 period, 1170 period. Left for posterity. You can get up the St Mary's Tower and have a view over everywhere, but very serene. Oh, little tables. I don't know if there's a little cafe or not, I don't know. Some very old grave markings here. And those seats, they date back to the 14th century, when they used to have ye old picky nicky. Right, I'll have to keep my eye down because I'm going to do the usual thing and not watch where I'm walking and fall over. My goodness, it's like being in sort of a version of Greece. You know, you go to Athens and everywhere you go, you fall over Roman and Grecian columns and monuments. Let's delve in a little bit further and have a look. This is called the chapter house. Chapter 1, verse 1. And so it be said. Oh, and I forgot about that. Of course, the wonderful Frank Field. I forgot he was the MP for Birkenhead. He was a proper Labour gentleman, even though he was somewhat lefty. He'd another MP who had enough of the Führer, Corbyn, when he took over the Labour Party. He couldn't stick the racism, or let's call it what it is. He couldn't stick the anti-Semitism. Very nice man. I met him at one occasion here when I was working for Vauxhall. He came to Ellesmere Port for something. God, imagine the history of this place. Well, you don't have to imagine it. You can read it in the books. And then a little view from outside. You see, it pays to pay attention to people who make suggestions. And that's why I never laugh them off and just say, no, I'm doing my own thing, even if it means missing out on something else I wanted to have a look at. Right, let's go back in and see if we can get inside. And then just a little look at the working chapel in the Priory here. I suppose you could call it a pocket chapel, but, you know, full details left in, nothing omitted. Probably the smallest church I've been in. Right, let's go and have a look and see his into St Mary's Tower. Here we go. Oh, plenty of history. I'll switch off while I have a read of that. Well, absolutely fascinating. You just don't realise the amount of, incidentally, I'm jogging up and down because I'm walking up the steps to the top of the tower. You don't realise how much effort has to be put in for even the most minor of repairs and restorations. Oh, little memorials up the stairs on the banister. For those of you who have never been up the Empire State Building, this will give you an idea. And we'll just switch off because you don't want to get seasick wandering all around and up and down the tower steps. If you're watching the stupid videos your dad makes, daughter dear, boy, am I doing steps. Wow. And in case you can't read the plaque, this is the Knox bell, restored some 30 years ago at the top of the tower. Well, of course, at the top, that's where you hang your bells from. Can I say hang your bells from? In the distance there, the Birkenhead Council office building, University of Cheshire in the middle there. Commercial units around here. B&M, you've got to have a B&M. And then as we swing round, we're going to go into the sun in a minute. The ship in there looks a bit navalish to me. And yes, and you can just see there is indeed a Royal Navy ship of some description. But as we keep swinging round, what do we get a nice view of? That's the Mersey as it heads up deep into the Wirral. And there she blows, Liverpool. And there's a boat on the Mersey, but it's not a ferry on the Mersey. You can see all the sights. Let's just do a bit of zoomification, shall we? I'm going full zoom, so it might be a bit pretty. There you can see in the middle the Three Graces. And as we move over to the right, there's the arena. So I better call it Marks and Sparks Arena, hasn't I? Because I believe that's what it is. And in the middle, you can just see the Metropolitan Cathedral that we visited previously. and then the largest Anglican church with the tallest chancellery in Europe. And then down here below us, and you can see, oh, wonder where they've been. Anyway, you can see down below us some dockage and some little flat sort of boat reversing in. Is that what they do when they're boats? Do they reverse in? I suppose they have to if they want to go backwards. And the engineering shops. So you can see how near to the sea stroke river the Priory was built. And I see there's some, oh, glad I'm not going into Liverpool today. That'll probably be disgorging loads of, I can't talk because my camera's on a stick, but that'll be disgorging probably hundreds of wonderful Chinese visitors with their phones on sticks. Now, I was just about to leave from here. It's been a great afternoon. I bumped into a lady called Elaine. She does music. There, look. Right. Now, Elaine's going to tell me what they do. They do it for charity. Let's have a chat with Elaine. Come on. Right. You were saying, we're here, incidentally. We're still at the lovely Priory.
Yeah, amazing,
right.
Absolutely amazing place here.
Tell me a bit about, because you know me, I'm just total just.
Okay. So I'm part of a band called Spin-Offs. We've been going for, probably about maybe 8 years now, maybe
a little bit longer. Ian never told me that.
Yeah. So we were all part of a ukulele group that one of our members set up, and then we were asked to play at weddings now and again. So after that, we thought, let's just get a smaller group together and just play some different songs.
Why not?
So that was it. And then we thought, somebody asked us to play for a wedding. Yeah, this is really good. Another wedding, great. And then we thought, this is fun. Let's do it. But every time somebody paid us, it goes to charity.
Oh, fabulous.
So for us, it's a big thing. It's give back.
Oh,
so
I didn't.
We take nothing for it.
Oh, fabulous. I didn't realize it, because folks, I'm just going to show you what there. You see, there's a thing happening for dogs, for retired greyhounds. So isn't that brilliant? So we've got loads of charity things.
And
I love that.
This is an amazing place to be in
anyway.
So
brilliant.
to be asked to play here was like, we played a couple of times in the refectory.
I went over the year.
We played a couple of times there, but it's an amazing place. We have a real eclectic mix of songs, so we sort of spread out the load between all the players. Somebody does one thing, somebody's got a voice for that. So yeah, that's how we go along.
Did you do Motorhead's Ace of Spades?
No.
Oh right, I've heard that on ukulele. There's a group on
Ian would probably try that, something like that.
Listen, thanks for having a
word.
My daughter always says I've got to get people in, and I love people that do things, so it's brilliant.
Thank you, my love. It's really nice to speak to you.
And you as well. Thanks, my love. Take care. Well, there you go now. Ukulele, you see. And listen, folks, you do know who two famous rock ukulele players are, don't you? One from here in Liverpool, George Harrison. And one of my heroes, Jeff Lynne. Anyway, right, let's get cracking. We've got to move on. I've wasted this people's time so long. I'm off. Come and join me in central Birkenhead. Right, we're making our way down towards the centre of the town. A little bit of modern brutalism to keep everybody happy. And Blower's Sports Lounge. I wonder what that is. Is it blow football or real football? Well, we'll see as we go past. It's fair to say we're just wandering along the extremities of the town at the moment. And it's not madly busy, not an awful lot of traffic. There is on the main bypass road, but we'll see what we can find down further towards the centre. This is not too far from Hamilton Square, which explains the reason that there's Hamilton Street on the sign. Yes, I know, let's not be too obvious about that. And I've just spied something, a blue plate. You know me and blue plates. Let's just zoom in. And that's Henry Tate of Tate and Lyle. And the famous Birkenhead Tunnel. Except buses, that's ahead. Well, I'm not a bus, and I'm not walking it either. I always wonder what the second-hand value of a car like that is, and how expensive it is to get the paintwork done when you go for a trade-in. Anyway, walking down, it's I think this is more commercial here. It's not particularly open. There's a few pubs that are going on, but we'll just continue. Bear with me as I use my 2 feet to get down to the centre. Time seems to fly when you're having fun. I know the diversion up at the Priory was wonderful. and having a chat with the musical folks and seeing the doggy things in action. It was lovely. But I was here fairly early, and it's now 1 o'clock. Actually, I've just had, no, I tell a lie. It's 22, and my rather overbearing stomach is telling me that it's time to fill it with some tea and a sandwich. And there we go, folks. And that's for my one regular viewer. We found one. Face Candy, Kandi. And not only is it candy, but it's got a heart over the eye. Now, isn't that dead expressive? I've just been beeped by a lady in a, what was it? Looks like an open truck. No, it's a Fiat, whatever it is. A lovely wave and a smile. But that's what you get in Mersyside. You get loads of people being so friendly. I am indeed. Hello. That'll be banned. And to you. Nice to see you, folks. There's a restaurant where the graphics haven't quite worked. The Stanbu restaurant. I know it's Istanbul, but and that's looking up towards the back end of Hamilton Square. And then the town centre is presumably down that way. Let's go and find out. I keep saying let's go and find out, but I keep distracting myself. Well, at my age, you get very easily distracted. Oh, and I was just walking along minding my own business. I found the brass balance. And what's so wonderful about the brass balance? Yes, we've found our spoons. Yay, that's my 2 must-haves, both completed before the day is over. Oh, there we are. Reminds me of home, the man cave. Although mine's a bit of a man hovel when all's said and done. Oh, heist. Oh, really? Do they fence stuff that you... No, I won't go there. On wellness, or another one of my favourite words. There's always somebody wellness. That poor monster up in Loch Ness. He's not very well, Ness, is he? Oh, fresco. Didn't Mr. Holsworth run that in Coronation Street? Oh, there's Strummers. I must drop in and ask Joe if he managed ever to get in touch with London, because I believe London was calling at one stage. And there's the roundabout we've got to turn right at and head across the street. Let's try and not get... Well, there's no traffic, so let's wander across. I keep bumping into people asking me, am I making a video? And then I get chatting. This is the thing with Mersyside. It's just absolutely wonderful. You've got to put up with it, though. It's fabulous, and it's worth putting up with because everyone's so friendly. Oh, this is all looking very Milton Keyneish. And, of course, the perfunctory bus lane. Sorry, not bus lane. Perfunctory cycle lane that stretches ad infinitum with not a cyclist in sight. That's a good use of council money. Although, as I said before, we can't knock the councils because central government make them apportion the budget that they give. Not a portion of, but apportion, one word, the budget they're given to put in these cycle lanes to encourage a little bit of Milibandism. And of course, Mr. Miliband, he gets driven everywhere. I've just seen a lovely building coming up. Let's see what this is all about. Ah, this old building is an old high school. And a fine building it is too. Lovely work up the top there, as you can see. We'll just swing in. Look, that's lovely. Look at that. Lovely coat of arms. And a poor chap with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Ah, I see. It's a higher elementary school. I suppose Bruce Forsyth must have gone there. Higher, higher, lower, lower. And then at the extremity of the building, we've got the Con A.E. Tre, whatever that is. Then there's the Pyramids Shopping Centre. I wonder if they sell any Egyptology. And the bus station, which, quite an impressive looking bus station, to be honest, but then no point getting excited about bus stations, is there? And I presume that at the bottom there is probably a cinema. Oh, I've just seen an old traditional pub. Oh, I take back what I said. There's a cyclist. And see, this is one of the problems when a major sort of anchor tenant gets into financial difficulties. All it leaves behind is an eyesore, because anybody who's interested in the unit just can't afford to take it on between rents and rates, etc. I don't know if it's me being naive, but I've never understood the owners and people who, for instance, who, whether they let it out, Wilko's or Wilko's owned it, why they don't just offer a peppercorn rent and rates, or even on a profit basis, as I said before in other videos, keep businesses honest. They've got to declare their books, what they bring in, what they let out, what they take out, And when times are bad, their actual operating costs will be lower. And then when times are better and they make much better money, say over Christmas time or during holiday season, they can pay a slightly higher rent and a little bit more higher contribution towards the business rates. Makes sense to me, but then when it comes to economics, I know it begins with E and ends with an S, but that's about it. I mean, the main front there, they say Wilko, and then you've got Binjo, a gambling den, and then you've got a closed down pound stretcher, and not really the ideal situation to have on the main front of a shopping centre, the town central one. I see it's called Europa Square. Irony aside of the name of the show being called The Last Laugh, that's where they play Eric Morecambe, Tommy Cooper and Bob Monkhouse. What a fantastic show that was. My dearest friend Mark took me along to that. It was superb. Oh, some nice crests on the market. Established 1835. Yes, sadly not a lot to show for it being a Saturday. I was chatting to somebody about the market being closed, but it seems I went in the wrong end. I went in the events end, and just to show that we've given it a bit of a support, come down and get a few bits. This is the main market drag. So apologies, that's just to prevent a phone call, singular, flooding in saying I didn't get it right about the market. Although in fairness, it is a little empty. Oh dear, 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 dear. Oh gosh. Temu and Jeff Bezos strikes again. There's even a place selling barriers. Anybody want to know how much they charge? They only charge £1 a trolley in Asda. If they charge £1 a barrier, maybe I'll go into the trolley and barrier business. De Hillens. Interesting sort of shutter art. Maybe we could invent a new word. Shart. It's shart. Oh, that brings in all sorts of connotations. Yes, I bet you'll never sit beside a dog again on the bus having read that. Oh, the shart is quite pleasant actually. Look at it. And again, the main entrance to the shopping centre not auguring well, with a shuttered former shop. Let's see what round the corner brings. Oh, goodness me. Oh, dear, 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 dear. Shop after shop, all shuttered and closed. Although we can't really blame Mr. Bezos all that much, because we all know people who insist on buying their Chinese tat from Amazon, and they have to have it delivered 3 minutes before they put their order in. They just can't wait an extra couple of days, or actually shift their backsides and go off down to town to buy it themselves. I know you pay a little bit more, but no, it doesn't enter their head that they might be sort of helping to support local businesses if they were to buy locally. But still, that's life. It's just the way it goes. I mean, it's a shame there's closed shops, one after the other, on this main drag. Oh, crikey, there's a Wimpy down here. I've not seen one of those for years. And an opportunity to let. They don't say what opportunity is. And hairlines, well, it's gone like mine. It's completely receded. And you have to have a cash converters. I mean, pick up a bargain. Oh, and they're moving anyway themselves. So presumably their rent has got to the stage where they can't cope with it. And workwear and leisure, well, that might be a weekday one if it's workwear. And there we are, a real Wimpy. Not seen one of those for, dear, I don't know how long. I've just forgotten how long since I saw Wimpy. I thought they'd all gone. That does make me laugh. I know I've got no hair to speak of, but how do you go into a barber shop and ask to have your hair done like that? What's the instruction you give? I want to look like a childish Burke. I don't know if that's how you do it. Sorry, I'm being nasty and grumpy today, aren't I? And memories, I think they lost their memory and forgot to turn up today. I know things connected with death aren't necessarily funny, but I just remember, have you seen that Simplicity Cremations advert on television? What's that all about? Singing a song, way to go. You know, I mean, honestly, way to go. You lose your long loved grandma and somebody stands up at the cremation and shouts at the top of their voice, hey, way to go, granny. Don't understand it. Well, that's survived some wag using two of the, oh no, they're not squares, it's the sun, but using part of that empty graphic to add a very useful UP to the beginning of it. Oh, and look what we've discovered. Yes, yet another coffee house to add to the collection of coffee houses all around the 3 or 4 counties I've wandered through. I think the problem with this shopping centre, the reason there are so many units closed is that all the main brands are up here and it's quite busy. So this is where all life seems to be at here at this shopping centre. Now, I was just stopped for a couple of minutes by some very charming street preachers, and it seems this was originally the monk's pathway that was created 300 years ago to connect the Priory, which is we've just come from, to, well, the centre of the town. Bit of an anomaly here. We've got the Adventures Attic, which is on the ground floor. This is the gentleman that just gave us some very good advice. When you're over 40, 45, whatever, get your blood pressure checked. That's the reason this gentleman's come out today, to have a bit of a walk and a bit of exercise. Isn't that right?
That's right, sir.
Lovely seeing you. Thanks very much.
God bless
Thanks
you,
for, and your name is?
Shane.
Shane. Lovely to. Oh, Darlington. Yes, the another centre of the railway industry.
That's
yes,
right,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And Stockton, absolutely. And a few more. Oh, there we are, the old bin shop. Hello to you.
Are you the new blogger in there?
Oh, yeah, just come for the day all the way from sunny Bolton. How are you, sir?
I'm okay, thank
good,
you very
good,
much.
good, good.
Got up this morning. I thought I'll do something today.
Oh, why not? Why not?
I haven't done anything apart from I thought to myself, well, get yourself for a walk for the fresh air. And I'm starting to think, do I need anything even?
While you're here, safe you coming back out. I know what you mean, yes.
I don't need anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just getting out because I need to, because
you've got to.
Now.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. My bit stopped working long ago.
Yeah, I mean, you start getting high blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something a lot of people, especially above the age of 40 plus.
Yes, absolutely. Very, very wise, very wise. Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. And then here in the centre, there's a BBA, as they say, bloody big Asda. Well, as we were saying before, lovely Shane from Darlington. You've always got a bin shop. How do they put all this stuff in at night, and how do they manage that they don't lose stuff that people borrow? I mean, I do see cameras up there, and you need more than cameras. I think it needs to be bolted down. But I mean, that's the same everywhere. I'm not just saying it because of the area we're in. Yes, we've been saved well and truly in Birkenhead. Days with a Z. If you're watching Charlie, that's Charlie Veach. I had my first Charlie Veach moment. A lovely gentleman who couldn't really speak English very well. He was from here, shouting at me from across the road. I wasn't even pointing his direction. Shouldn't be recording. Well, maybe I was. I didn't even pay any attention. So I just replied, well, public street, tough luck. Just don't get in the picture if you don't want to. Easy as that. And at the top end here, we've come across the Drunken Duck. And that's quite a nice design building. And across the road, the Christopher Boyton Salon. What a fabulous building that is. Absolutely lovely. So this, I think, is the top end or bottom end of the town, I presume. We've got loads of closed shops down there, as enclosed, which I think is because it's takeaway alley. There seem to be a lot of takeaways and shops down there, so we won't bother walking up there. We don't need to see more shuttered shops. It's probably a hive of activity at night. I think fair to say the most unappealing, scruffy McDonald's I've ever seen. Absolutely appalling. I love the way they call a lot of these places the hive, presumably to indicate a hive of activity. Well, that's the Wirral one. No doubt they're all in there. A hive of activity on their Tic Tacs and Instagrannies. Oh, first sign of just a residential area off the main. I mean, we're only a slight way off the main town centre. And then just discovered this lovely sort of brutalist thing. And right beside it is the Garrick Snug, which lovely old traditional pub. Just speaking to a gentleman who said the lovely gardens they used to have 20, 30 years ago have all gone, because aside from the building to the right, you've got this lot here. So all disappearing. Yes, Joni Mitchell. Don't we know what we've got? We don't know what we've got till it's gone, I believe Yellow Taxi used to say. Just spied an old religious building there of some description. Not a priory, we've been to the priory. Just I can see some statues. Statue? No, it's me. I can see some statues there in the grounds, and behind it, unfortunately, an old building in a grand state of disrepair. And oh, Stumpy McStumpy Face, another election poster. Ah, we'll have a nosy in the gate, shall we? Well, not in the gate, I mean, the gate's made of metal. We're familiar with that. Oh, goodness me. Talk about very, very old gravestones. And there's the statues. And it's the parishioners of St. Warburs in the memory of those in the parish who died in the Great European War 1416. So there we go. Ah, a bit of levelling up. I thought levelling up had all been done, gone and finished. Maybe I'm wrong. Birkenhead is transforming. There's one from times past. Warehouse and auction rooms, or warehouses and auction rooms. They've seen better days. Broken window at the top. And it's now become rhythm, block and blow computers. And the Georgian Dragon. Oh God, I was going to say there's not a George and a dragon, but there is. How wonderful at the top there. You can see it, there's the logo. I can see the station I'm going for over there, but this is a very complex crossing system. I think I have to cross the road here, walk to Chester, and then walk back via Betsy Coed to get to the station. Oh, and there we are. Made it. Birkenhead Central. Ah, Mersey Railway, the quickest route to Liverpool. There's a bit of tunnelling there. I have to say the Mersyside trains are rather posh. Very good looking. They're all one centrally connected aisle goes the whole way down the trains. And as I say, it was a bit of an adventure for me because of the fact that it goes underground. A bit like the Jam. They went underground once. Well, the thing's flashing. Well, it will flash on the camera, but it's not flashing in real time. We're due a train in, what is it? 3 minutes. Now, this is the escalator down to the Mersyside line from Lime Street. I kid you not. Looks like London, doesn't it? London Underground. And what's more, it's only one of two. This is the other one. It is so deep. So deep. Well, just a quick view of the pool on the way home. In as much as Lime Street Station, the connections for the train didn't quite work. So I decided to have a coffee at last and a sandwich. Yay! I never normally do food video things, but a great big chunk of apple pie and tea, and not only is it tea, but it's proper leaf tea as well. And on top of that, £7.20, just opposite Lime Street Station in the centre of Liverpool. And this is where we stopped for that lovely cup of tea. Key Lime Coffee. Lovely place, lovely cakes, lovely staff, absolutely fabulous. So if you do come, please get yourself over to Key Lime Coffee and get yourself they do lovely coffee, but I'm a miserable old bugger because I'm a tea drinker. And I just had to give them a plug because I've never spoken to such lovely ladies before, and the girls were fabulous. Right, time to go for my train. And there we are. So I'll leave you and say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little wander around Birkenhead. And as I always say, please stay safe and be good. And if you can't be good, be careful.